So if you clicked on this video, you are watching the second part of a discussion that I had with Tim Black on his channel. I'll put a link in the description box as well as an annotation on the screen so you can check out that discussion. Head on over there and subscribe. This is one of the best YouTubers right now, and he is doing really big things. So, Tim, I'm happy to pick up the conversation on my channel, man.
No, man, look, man, thank you so much for lying to all of your audience members about me. I appreciate it. and look, man, and like I told everyone else, man, I feel the same way about you, man. You're an up-and-comer, man. You're a go-getter, man, and we love your message, Mike. Everyone loves you. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it, man. You too. Now, starting this conversation, I'm going to start with some good news. So as of today, I don't know if you heard, you probably did because you follow news a lot. There's a new Bloomberg poll that was released that shows that Bernie Sanders took the national lead, 49 to 48 over Hillary Clinton. Dude, crazy
dude, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. Someone called into my show, Mike, and told me, man. And I'm like, yes, we knew it was going to happen. It was just like you said earlier on part A, it was just a matter of time, Mike.
I literally, like, when I saw that, I jumped up, was like, yes! Like, I was so excited because all these media pundits, they're over here calling Bernie Sanders to drop out, and he already responded. He said it's absurd. He's not going to do it. But everyone, Hillary Clinton, her supporters, the media, they all want him to drop out. And then you see this new poll. It's like a big middle finger to all of them. And, oh, my God, it came at a perfect time. Love it, especially after Arizona and whatnot. But, man, this is what we needed to re-energize our campaign and the political revolution. And I am stoked about that.
We're still raising money, and we're still pushing the dialogue, and now we pass them in the polls. That's only going to help more, like you say, stimulate the base, get people excited, man, and people are ready. I know people are just waiting to vote in California, waiting to vote in New York, and I'm waiting in Maryland to vote, man. We can't wait, so that's what it is.
Oh, I'm in Oregon, and we're going to blow it out of the park. Like, we have mail-in ballots. Our turnout is going to be high. We have automatic registration. Best believe that Bernie's going to win in a landslide in Oregon. Hear me now, quote me later. It's going to happen, guys. And if not, then I'm going to move out of Oregon. But no, it's going to happen. Not going to say that. But here's what I want to talk to you about. So I have a question about demographics. So me and you are both in two different demographics that don't seem to support Bernie Sanders. So when it comes to the African-American community, Hillary Clinton is winning that hands down. We can't lie about that. Even though Bernie Sanders has made progress, it's still the case that he has a lot of work to do. Now, for me, we don't have polls on this, but for the LGBT community, anyone who I talk to likes Bernie Sanders. But if they're a member of the LGBT community, it seems as though they like Hillary Clinton more. And my theory is that it's just because they don't know about his record on the issues. So I wanted to get your take on that. Like, do you think it's the same? I mean, these are two very different communities, but why do you think it's the case that Bernie Sanders is, or excuse me, that Hillary Clinton is doing so well among these two groups?
I think it's all perception, man, and the fact that the Clintons have been around so long, like we say with name recognition, I think a lot of African Americans, for some reason, they have a false perception. They remember the 90s, or they heard talk of the 90s. That's why it's so resonant with older black folks. They just remember them. And frankly, a lot of black folks are kind of wary of white folks when it comes to politics. I mean, the 1960s are not that long ago, and we remember at times we're trying to get our rights, trying to civil rights marches. We remember we've known about police brutality for decades. It's been going on for hundreds of years in the United States. It's just now becoming like a thing we talk about. So there's a lot of skepticism in the black community towards politicians in general, in fact, in the country, but even more so in the black community. In fact, I've faced like my own level of criticism just for being involved in it. They're like, Tim, you don't need to be worried about this. And that's not because it's Bernie Sanders or Hillary. It's just politics in general. So just speaking based on what I've, from my community, based on and I'm not, once again, let me say, man, I don't speak for all black people, but I'll say the name means a lot. Some people feel a little guilty as well because they chose Barack, and they felt bad for Hillary when she cried in Iowa and a whole other bunch of other stuff that shouldn't matter. And look, also, they're not aware of the issues. Like, they didn't know about super predators. And by the time they knew about super predators, they had already voted for her.
Right. And what I want to say is that I would like Hillary Clinton to know what a super predator is. So Hillary, here are some specific instructions. Go to google.com, and I want you to Google Goldman Sachs CEO, click on images. That's what a super predator is. Someone who wrecks the economy, which affects only about 100% of the population. That's a super predator, but I'm going to go on a tangent because the super predator thing pissed me off. And I'm so glad that, shout out to Ashley Williams, who protested her that day. That was phenomenal. That was so great. That was brave, by the way, as well, with Secret Service and whatnot. That was amazing. I think what you're saying, like the mistrust of politicians, is absolutely true. I think that it makes sense. The name recognition that the Clintons have. I mean, you have the most powerful machine in the country. I mean, I can't think of a Republican family besides the Bushes that are as powerful as the Clintons. So it makes sense that Hillary Clinton is known by not just African Americans and LGBT people, but everyone. So I think that's really interesting.
And look, man, I'm not saying this right. I'm just saying I think that's the reality of the situation. I wish it was different. I wish I could be everywhere. And I wish I could have been in South Carolina, like talking to people. Put me in a room. So I am a little pissed, Mike, because I feel like the campaign should have reached out more to African Americans and had us out there ahead of time. Why didn't somebody come holler at your boy Tim Black and say, come with us down to Georgia, come with us down to North Carolina, South Carolina, come talk to people. Look, Killer Mike, he's big. He's kind of slow. He can't do everything on his own. Nina Turner, she's just one person. She can't be everywhere. You need more surrogates. And frankly, I'm not seeing enough black surrogates to talk to black people. You know, I think that's important. I think if you want, I don't know about the LGBT community, but I think you would want some LGBT people talking to LGBT people, I guess.
Right. No, and I don't think that the campaign has made a big enough effort to actually highlight his record. I mean, if you're Bernie Sanders, you go and you gloat about the fact that you were the first mayor in Vermont, in Burlington, Vermont, to put in anti-discrimination legislation that included protection for LGBT people. He almost got his career destroyed. Like, I say this all the time on my podcast. Like, city council went after him with pitchforks. They did not want this. So if you're Bernie Sanders, you gloat about that. You gloat about the fact that you came out in favor of marriage equality way before Hillary Clinton. She was one of the last people in the Democratic Party, who is a big name, to come around to marriage equality. It's absolutely frustrating. So I want Bernie Sanders to go harder on this point, because Hillary Clinton is pretending to be the biggest ally in the world. We all know that's not the case. And the problem is that people just don't know about Bernie Sanders' past activism.
But I will say this, man, part of the problem, and I don't know if this exists in your community, but I'll say this. We got some sellouts, pastors, we got some Congress people who have the ear of certain black people in these communities who have been eating at the trough of the Clintons for so many years that they're willing to say anything to keep the money train going. Like, that money train got to keep running. So that's part of the problem when you got people like John Lewis, who I respect or used to respect, running out, lying about Bernie Sanders, lying about his record, planting seeds of doubt that he had civil rights, true credibility. You know, that hurt Bernie Sanders, frankly. They said, well, this guy's a liar. Like, you know, he's lying about his civil rights. And we know it's true now, and they can walk it back. But once you put out a lie and then you retract it, it never, the fix never quite settles or permeates to the extent that the lie did. So that was part of why I think Bernie Sanders didn't do so good in the South.
Absolutely. And the point about sellouts, that's so true with the LGBT community as well. So the largest pro-LGBT organization, the Human Rights Campaign, so they endorsed Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders because their board voted. And when you look at the president of the HRC, he used to work for Bill Clinton. So I'm guessing that maybe he wants to get a job on Hillary Clinton's campaign as well. But yeah, there's people who will put the campaign and their own personal self-interest above their entire community. And it's something that is so frustrating to me, because if you genuinely like Hillary Clinton, then endorse her. I don't have a problem with you just preferring Hillary Clinton, but in actuality, we know that's not the case. We know that there's these backroom deals that are incredibly frustrating, and it's just so disheartening. But one thing that I wanted to get your opinion about is young voters, since we're kind of on the topic of demographics. So Hillary Clinton, she just cannot fathom why young people would not want to vote for her. And you see no effort to reach out to young voters other than pandering. I don't know if you saw the video on Snapchat of her. It was so cringy. She had her little chillery. It was like a thing that you put over your drink. And she's like, I'm just chilling. And it said Hillary Clinton.
I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids.
that, oh, the cringe, like I got a physical reaction to that. It was like so cringy, my body tensed up. But here's one of the reasons why I think that young people don't want to vote for Hillary Clinton. She, as well as the Democratic Party, they haven't gotten on board with issues that disproportionately impact young people or that they really care about. So one thing is climate change. She's taking money from the fossil fuel industry and from pro-fracking companies. This is our future. Another thing is marijuana legalization. Now a majority of the country are in favor of legalizing marijuana, and she is not taking a strong stance on it. Well, I want to wait and see how, Oregon and Colorado does. It's doing fantastic here, and we've raised revenues for schools, and actual user rates have gone down when it comes to youth. So the reason why, Hillary Clinton, we don't support you is because you're not tapping into what we want. We don't want a $12 minimum wage. We want a $15 minimum wage. We want a warrior who's going to stand up and fight for us. And that's not happening with Hillary Clinton. Yeah, if you leave it to Hillary Clinton, man, if you had people like Hillary, these pragmatists, we would still be sitting on the back of the bus, black folks. We would be giving us excuses why we shouldn't be able to vote. We'd still be discriminated against in all corridors of the government, even to a more of extent than we are now, because it's people like Hillary who say, well, we can't do that. We need to set our sights a little lower. How about, we'll make you a indentured servant instead of a slave. I mean, that's the type of little baby steps she wants to take. And that's not exciting for young people or older people, actually. I know we're in different age groups, but as a 40-year-old guy, man, I'm not excited by that crap. I don't got all day. I don't have 10 years to wait for Hillary to come around or to flip-flop and want to get the record straight, So right. I'm pissed about that. But another thing, man, the death penalty, that's huge for me because I'm heavy off into civil rights. I'm heavy off into police brutality and doing something about mass incarceration in our prison systems. And I know for a fact, Hillary knows we hand out the death penalty disproportionately to poor people and even more so to poor black people. And she's still for it. I don't think she can call herself a progressive. And I'm pissed that she does that and people don't call her out. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand how people who vote for Hillary Clinton aren't outraged at this fact. Of course, there are some people who, in theory, are crazy. You know what I mean? Like serial killers. Of course, that's the case. But the problem is that in practice, that's not the way that it works. People are framed. Thank God for the Innocence Project, because without it, there'd be so many people who are innocent, disproportionately African-American men, who would get killed when they didn't do anything wrong. So because we can't get it right, even if it's just, if we get one case wrong out of 1 million, it's wrong. It's wrong. We have to end it. And the fact that Hillary Clinton is claiming to be a progressive, but she won't support a repeal of the death penalty, it blows my mind. That's cruel and unusual punishment. It's against the Constitution. If that's not cruel and unusual punishment, then nothing is. We can do anything we want. Exactly, man. I like I tell everyone, man, it's not that she's a woman. That's fine. I love women. My mom's a woman. That's great. But you got to be the right woman running for the right job. And I don't think the job as president is the job I'd vote for. Vote for her, vote for Hillary for. And I'll say this, man, if Bernie Sanders had the same policies as Hillary Clinton, I wouldn't vote for him. I'm not voting for Bernie Sanders because I just like his name or I just like his style, the way he talks or the way he does his hand like this. No, I'm voting for Bernie Sanders because I like his policies. I like what he stands for. I like his integrity. And I just don't see that president Hillary Clinton. So you can call that bashing if you want to. I just call it my right to choose the best candidate. And I think the best candidate is Bernie Sanders, man. Right. And you know what's sad is that we shouldn't even have to say this. We shouldn't have to say, I don't support Hillary Clinton, because of, or I don't not support her because of her gender. That it's obvious. We're progressives. We were fighting on every side of the issue that was right from the beginning. But if one thing that I always bring up on my podcast is that many of Bernie Sanders supporters, I'd probably say the overwhelming majority who knew him and was there from the beginning, they backed Elizabeth Warren before we even knew that Bernie Sanders was running. So if she announced her bid for the presidency, guess what would be happening right now? We'd all be backing Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders wouldn't have even needed to step in the ring. Yeah, I heard that Bernie really wasn't excited about running, and it was sort of like a nominated, like people were like egging him on to give this a shot. So that's another reason that makes me let a guy, man. Hey, he's not in it for power. He's in it for doing the right thing. So, I mean, what else can you say, right? Right. So, like, one last thing I wanted to get to is I wanted to get your opinion on the transcripts for Hillary Clinton and how it's because for me personally, it's crazy to me that people can vote for her when she clearly has this big thing that she's hiding and she won't reveal. How do you have that bit of information that she's keeping this from you? She can release it, but she won't, and you still vote for her. That, I just wanted to get your opinion on that. I mostly want to hear you rant, but
man, look, look, Bernie Sanders says it better than anyone when he says, "Hey, you gave this speech. It was worth what, $275,000, $325,000. I don't know, some crazy amount of money. It must be the world's greatest speech. Why would you not share it with the world?" You know, and I feel the same way, man. You know, but my thing is, why are people thinking a woman who can earn that type of money, or a man, or anyone who can make that type of money speaking to Wall Street, would have your best interest at heart when it comes to locking down Wall Street? I mean, come on, man. Look, I got a little show. It comes on every day. There are people who have contributed to my show as little as $5 a month. But you know what? They want something for that $5 a month. They don't just do it just to do it. And if I start one day talking about tuna fish or, I don't know, spam, they'll be like, what the hell is this? I didn't give you money to start to change your format. So look, logic dictates that when people give you money for stuff, they have an expectation. But for some reason, these Hillary Clinton supporters, they think, oh, well, she was giving money, but it won't influence her. It's not like they had a reason for doing it. Come on, man. So that's how I feel about it. And I just think anyone who like puts their biases aside, they gotta realize she's influenced by that money. Who wouldn't be?
You're not human if you're not influenced by money. I mean, you said it perfectly with people who's just given $5 to your show. Of course, you have to try to appease the people who are making what you do possible. So of course it's the case that if somebody is given me $100 each month, or $5 each month, or any amount of money each month, I'm going to do my best to make sure that they are satisfied with the product that I'm producing, because I'm a human being. I know that if I want to keep doing this, I've got to make sure that the people who fund this are happy. And to deny that that has any influence over you like Hillary Clinton does, it makes you a robot, not a human being, because 100% of the human population is influenced by money. Sorry, Hillary, but that's a fact.
Right. So either she's lying to us or she's lying to the people whose money she's taking. Either way, still a liar.
Either way you slice it, because we know that she told them something that would be devastating for her campaign. So if she releases the transcripts, that's going to be terrible. Me and you are going to be the first people to run away with it and analyze the hell out of it. But if she doesn't release it, then the suspicion will continue to build and build. So either way, she's backed into a corner. So what would be the solution for her? Well, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. Don't care. Release the transcripts. That's what I got to say.
At this point, she can't do anything. She's got to continue to stonewall. I don't expect her to release nothing except gas and more vacuous talk on her campaign trails. And she talks to no one about nothing, about, more of that crap that I can't. It's like fingernails down a chalkboard, man. I can't listen to it for long periods of time.
You mean you don't respond well, Tim, to focus group-driven tactics where they put their thumb like this and they go, I support the middle class. That doesn't respond to you? What?
Yeah, man, it's weird, man. I like authenticity. I don't know what it is. I just want people to be real.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, you nailed it. 100%.
You nailed it, Mike. You nailed it, Mike.
No, you nailed it. Guys, please subscribe to Tim if you haven't. If every single one of my subscribers, you have to be subscribed to Tim. If you're not, you're doing yourself a disservice. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I don't want to take up too much of Tim's time, but man, this has been really, really fun. Everyone get over to his channel. Check out part 1 if you haven't already. Tim, thank you so much, man.
Hey, man, thank you so much for having me, Mike. This was cool. We got to do it again by default. And also, I want you to do a video with the same progressive, Debbie. I'm going to do one with her, and we need to continue this road, man, because we're all progressives and we're going the right way.
Absolutely. And let me just remind everyone that if you take your channel, my channel, Debbie's, Ben Dixon, and you put us all together, we're a force. We're 100,000 subscribers strong, man. So we have a small army right now, and we're coming. So absolutely, yeah, you can expect collaborations with everyone. I'm excited to talk to Debbie, Ben, Noah, all these people who I've been really excited to talk to once I get a HD cam, which I finally have. Now it can happen.
No doubt, man. Oh, and I have to do a shout out. I'm sorry, man. Shout out to H.A. Goodman, writer for Huffington Post Salon. He's a good friend, and also he's a good person for you to team up with, Mike. I highly recommend his work, and he's been on my channel and Ben Dixon's, so it's only natural that hopefully you can get him on your channel as well.
Absolutely. Actually, I am familiar with HA, and his work is great. Like, he's the one person who is so unapologetically Bernie Sanders, even more so than you and me, maybe, that he gets like hate from it like constantly, but he's not stopping. And I love that so much. He is not backing down. And that's one of the things that I love about HA. But yeah, I definitely want to have him on as well. There's a lot of people who I want on, hopefully sooner rather than later. So yeah, good things coming.
That's it, man. Thanks a lot for having me, Mike. I'm gone, man.
All right, man. Well, take care. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this. We'll see you next time.